Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. My guest today will be Dr. Ron Carter, the 13th president of Johnson C. Smith University. How you doing there, Dr. Carter?
I am doing quite well, Paul. Thank you very much for inviting me to participate on your show.
Thank you for coming on the show, sir. I really appreciate it. On July 1st, 2008, you were inaugurated the 13th president of Johnson C. Smith University. Tell us exactly how that feeling was on that day, that special day in your life.
Wow, that was almost 5 years ago. It was a turning point experience for me. It was a time for me to really put my visions into action, to bring together all of the experiences that I'd accumulated over the years in higher education to this one moment. And it has been exciting ever since then.
Mm. Has your life, this journey through life, has it been always as easy as we may think it is?
Absolutely not. And it's not easy now.
Correct.
I know folks sometimes look and think, well, that must be an easy life. Not at all, because in order to do what I'm doing, I have to stay on my growing edge every day. I have to think, what should we be 10 years from now? So it means taking calculated risks. It means helping others see the vision. So I'm constantly on the move and constantly engaging and constantly having to debate issues and persuade people to come to this vision that we share at Johnson C. Smith University. So it's not easy. I describe it as a venture into creative insecurity.
That's awesome. With the revitalization of the Northwest Corridor,
Yes.
Johnson C. Smith has seen the groundbreaking ceremony for a 62,000 square feet science, technology, energy, engineering, and mathematics center.
Yes.
An 80-suite apartment complex called the Mosaic Village.
Yes.
The Art Factory, an off-campus performing arts center and theater.
Yes.
And also the Healthplex Fitness Center.
Yes.
With all this going on, what does this say about to the students that are currently at Johnson C. Smith and those that possibly will be coming to your program?
Well, what it says that we are in a very dynamic, engaging environment. We are a new urban university, and everything that you see about us, everything that you experience about us, points toward a growing quality enhancement plan for our students, for our faculty, for our alumni, the trustees, and for our community.
Yeah, we showed a clip of when you were making your speech at the Mosaic.
Oh, that was
opening.
a great day.
Yes, sir. It was awesome. It's awesome. There it goes right there. You know, it was an awesome experience. I was there, and you know, I really appreciate the growth that Johnson C. Smith has done. It's awesome.
Yeah, well, it's a commitment to the development of the Northwest Corridor. We are a partner, hand in glove, with all of the neighborhood associations, all of the residents, and we see it as our responsibility to help our neighbors build and sustain community assets. We want Beatties Ford Road to be a vibrant, dynamic place where all the residents can come together and enjoy and celebrate the very dynamic history, the very beautiful history we have there. So we will always continue to do what we can to empower our neighbors as they empower us. It's a family thing.
Great. And you can see the kind of like the family environment.
Yes.
As you grow, you know, it's becoming the unity.
That's what we're dreaming. That's what we want. We want a very powerful unity of activity potential in the Northwest Corridor. We want to be respected for the contributions that we're making to the city and to its vision. And to be quite honest, to be blunt, we want to be a political bloc to help persuade the happenings in Charlotte.
Johnson C. Smith ranks 18th in the nation in graduating African American in computer and information science.
Yes.
Describe that achievement.
Well, it's the achievement of a very dynamic faculty in the STEM subjects, the achievement of our students who have a vision of excellence and a commitment to demonstrate that they will be problem solvers in STEM, in science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and science. So it's our brand that we are very proud of, and this new Science Center will materialize that brand in new market degrees. Smith will always be on the cutting edge. We always want to be out front, showing what can be done.
How does it feel to be the president of a winning team? Because you can't do it by yourself.
Absolutely.
It takes numbers of people, and you have an awesome staff. How important is that to have that?
That is extremely important because the vision is just not my vision. It's the vision of people who have expertise, have strong skills and capabilities. And so when we come together, there's a lot of energy. And we debate issues and we argue about points and we become very creative together. And out of that emerges this idea that no one of us owns, but each one of us can sit back and say, we did this together. And this is what people are seeing and what people are experiencing about Johnson C. Smith University, a winning team pioneering into this universe of experience.
And the diversity.
Yes.
I see there's a growing diversity
Yes.
within the program. How would you look at that as far as part of the success of your program?
Well, a New Urban University is a very diverse experience. We live in a very diverse world. And so we want people who come to Smith to understand this is our cardinal virtue, that we are teaching people how to live together, how to think together, to recognize differences, but to understand that those differences can empower. So we just celebrate the fact that we have over 28 countries represented on our campus. We celebrate the fact that we are very diverse when it comes to a variety of religious experiences. We want our students to understand that that impacts in the way you interact with people. So we want our students to run and to be in touch with a Jew or a Muslim or Hindu or Buddhist. All that's there, and it's just an exciting experience.
You have some notable alumni. Give a list of some. Frederick Branch, class 42, first black officer in Marines. Edward Dudley, class 32, first black ambassador from the U.S. in Liberia. Richard Irwin, class of 47, first black federal judge in North Carolina. Josephus Cox, class of 99, first black to earn a bachelor's degree in computer engineering from an HBCU. And Dr. Albert Manley, class of 30, former president of Spelman College. What does this say about not only the achievement that a student can achieve, but that what all they can obtain with just being inspired?
Well, and I appreciate your calling those names, and there are many more.
Correct, there's many
Yeah, many more. Just
Yes.
recently, I attended a gala hosted by the Dental and Medical Professional Society here in Mecklenburg, and they honored 3 pioneering physicians. All 3 graduated from Johnson C. Smith University. What that says about us is that we are very serious about producing leaders, social entrepreneurs, people who are on the forefront of things. That's our passion.
You recently just had your homecoming.
Yes.
And when you see a lot of these alumni coming back, a lot of our successful business owners, you know, out there in the community, being a productive member of society, what does that say to yourself and Johnson C. Smith University?
Well, first, it's an experience of pride, points of pride. Each one is a point of pride. Second, it says to our students, look well at the growing edges of these individuals. You can not only be there, but beyond them. It says and confirms that we're getting it right in terms of the way we teach and the way we mentor and the way we inspire our students. And even more, it says that what we have done and what we are doing both are recognized and applauded by the people in the world who are saying these are great alumni.
And just like you said, the list goes on because,
Yes.
you know, John C. Smith is an awesome university. It's been around for years, and it's, you know, really done a lot for Charlotte and the surrounding area.
And we look forward to continuing to do more.
The enrollment, 2000, 2008, 2009, the enrollment was 1571. Now, 2012, 2013, you're at 1,669. What does that say with the increase of enrollment, especially with the economy the way it is, the dedication that the kids have to want to gain this?
That is a very important question, Paul. Let me start by saying at the beginning of the academic year, we had 1,800 students on campus. Students who really want to be there. The challenge is helping the students afford to be in institutions of higher education. Our students and many students across the country are finding it difficult to close that gap between the financial aid that they get from the federal government, the state, even from the university, and the family contributions. Now, something happened just recently at the beginning of the academic year where the criteria for the Parent Plus loan were changed to include not only the credit score, but now the credit history of parents. We saw literally hundreds of students to be ineligible for that Parent Plus loan when they were eligible last year.
Correct.
And as a result, we had the very difficult experience of seeing over 130 students go home because they could not afford it. What I want people to understand is that our students are passionate about getting an education. We are passionate about President Obama's agenda to make America the highest achieving country in the world when it comes to producing an educated workforce. But we have to do everything we possibly can to help these students stay in and to make sure that they have the money to stay there. Many of these students are first generation students. They're coming from low income families. But being a first generation student and coming from a low income family, that does not mean that they have no dreams, that they can't learn, that they can't succeed. They can. These are powerful students. We have to do everything we can to make sure they can stay in school.
And you're doing a great job too, because like you said, the students, they have that passion to want to receive that higher education, and that's where it really comes from.
Yes.
Wanting that desire to want to receive that higher education.
Yes. And because they have this passion and they have the drive and they have the skills and capabilities, when they come to campus, we want them to have a first-class experience that will say to them, you deserve it.
Correct.
Okay.
Why do we need to prepare the students for a society that has become more global?
Oh, because we live in a global society. When we look at the challenges of the economy, it's not just the economy here in the United States, it's the economy across the world. We are anxious about what's happening with the European market and what is going to happen in China. What happens in the politics? China's getting ready to announce its new leaders. Well, that will impact on the economy. So we want our students to understand that we live not only in a small space, we live in a global space, and we want them to know how to reach out and how to speak the languages of the global experience, because who knows where our students may be
Correct.
this time next year. They may be working in London, they may be working in Johannesburg. We want to make sure they know how to do that and to do it effectively.
Over 300 students at Johnson C. Smith, they were helped to obtain a passport.
Ah, yes.
Why was that important? Because a lot of people, they don't have passports. They never even tried to.
At Johnson C. Smith University, we are committed to graduating students who know how to solve tough problems in their profession, in the community, in the city, in the state, in the country, in the world. Now, we have to prepare them. And one of those preparations is to have all of the credentials to go from Charlotte, North Carolina, USA, to Johannesburg, South Africa. And that means you have to have a passport. Now, some of our students have not traveled abroad. That has not been part of their vision, their experience. So we say to them, not only will we give you a laptop, we are going to give you a passport, because we expect for you to study abroad sometime during your educational experience. It's just that simple.
And 12 of those students, they were scheduled to travel to Rome.
Yes, we had a group go to Rome. I think that was last year. We had a group the year before last to do research in Israel. We had a group to go to Spain. The idea is that we ask our faculty to design classes that must be taught abroad. And so they will prepare the students during the second semester, and the research must be done abroad, and we literally pack up the faculty member or faculty members and students, and that's where they complete that course of studies abroad.
That has to be a very great experience for the, for the students going out of the country. Some of them come from smaller towns,
Yes.
cities and stuff, and to be able to have that opportunity, and it's just a learning experience.
They come back completely different. We require them to talk about their research in a public forum, and to just see the transformation of our students, many of whom, you're absolutely right, have not been out of North Carolina or have just only been living in the South, and to be able to come back and talk about what they saw abroad. It's an enlarging experience, and we're very passionate about this idea of educating them as global citizens.
Do you see there's a point whereas everyone, all the students will have a passport to prepare them for that next step, potentially going out of the country?
Oh yes, absolutely. Because when the student gets his or her first job and the opportunity is there, I don't want a Smith student saying, or a Smith graduate saying, well, gee, I have to go apply for a passport. I want the Smith graduate to look at the employer, or if the graduate is really the employer himself or herself, to say, I'm dressed ready to engage the world. Let's go.
Kind of like a resume.
That's it. It's a living resume.
During your inaugural speech in 2008, you mentioned that you wanted to update and modernize the university.
Yes.
How do you see this vision in 2012?
Well, we are ahead of schedule. I think we have surprised ourselves that we have managed to do as much as we have done. But we still have a long way to go in terms of what I would like to see happen along the Beatties-Ford Road corridor, and what we want to see happen on campus. We are in the process now of upgrading our residential facilities on campus. Duke Hall is being completely redone. It will no longer be the typical residence hall. It will also be 2-bedroom suites with a kitchenette and en-suite bathrooms for our students.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And behind that is to teach them how to live in a shared community, because many graduates will go out and their first apartment is usually with someone. They go out, they can't afford to get an apartment on his or her own, and they'll say, well, let's share an apartment. We are getting them ready for that experience now.
And that's just another one of the great qualities of things that a student gets when coming to Johnson C. Smith.
Yes.
It's not only the love that they get from the president and the staff members, but from the fellow students, being in that type of environment, that preparing them for that next journey in life.
Yes, it's teaching them the soft skills. How do I communicate across differences? How do we solve conflicts? How do we live in covenant? There is a teaching moment in everything we do at the university. But overall, we want our students to be, and our graduates, to be responsible citizens. And that always pivot towards civility. And so if we can teach our students to live together in a civil environment now, I want those skills that they learn today to be paramount and to be transparent when they are out in the world, that people will look and say, this person really understands how to live a civil life.
John C. Smith. How important is having a relationship with the governmental officials and to the growth of John C. Smith within the Charlotte community?
Very important, very important. We see ourselves as a responsible partner with the city officials. I have said more than once that Charlotte cannot be the world-class city that it wants to be without Johnson C. Smith University. So that means we have a responsibility to engage and to help city officials define through social policy, through city planning, the future of this city. So we enjoy our relationships. We actively seek partnerships, not only with city officials, but with businesses, professional societies. That's what's important to us. And for our students to be there, to have internships. See, I'm looking forward to our students having an internship with you.
Oh, they will. Access 21, yes, sir. I mean, we would love to have some type of networking with Johnson C. Smith. I mean, because this is a great experience, and this is a teaching, for
Absolutely.
a great opportunity.
Absolutely.
And we'll love to have them come down.
Well, they'll be here.
Hey, yeah, thank you, sir. Okay, we're going to talk about why it's vital to have yourself. Well, you have with the transit system. I know that you have a relationship with the Charlotte transit system. Why important was that to get that type of relationship, whereas they actually come to your university, which is a great idea?
That's the gold rush.
Correct.
Connectivity. We want our students to be able to move from our point of reference through town out to Presbyterian Hospital. We want our students to have the opportunity to get off the streetcar, and I hope eventually the Gold Rush bus, but I hope eventually the streetcar, to take classes at Johnson and Wells, and then to take classes at Central Piedmont Community College, and to get out to Queens University. This is the future where we are working as a collective, and so we have to make it easy for our students to get from one point to the other. When I was a graduate student in Boston, we had the streetcar, and I was able to take classes not only at Boston University, but I could go to Boston College, I could go to Harvard University, I can go out to Tufts University. That makes for a rich educational experience. And if we really are committed in the city to breaking down silos so that people can begin to understand each other and appreciate each other, if we are really committed to this concept of diversity and inclusion, then we have to make sure that we have a transit system that facilitates that. And that's why I'll keep pushing for the streetcar.
Where do you see Johnson C. Smith at 5 years from now?
Well, 5 years from now, when one goes under the I-77 Trade Street Bridge exit, they will move into a very dynamic, mosaic experience. It will have the feel of Georgetown, the sassiness of Greenwich Village, and as they come up to what will then be known as Smith Square, they will see educational facilities right along Beattiesford Road, and when you get onto campus, it's just going to be a vibrant place, a point of destination where visitors will just simply come and walk because they've heard about this JCSU experience. You'll see our students engaged in new market degrees. You'll find business leaders interacting with our faculty. You will find a very vibrant community experience where the assets are visible and valuable, and people are coming to just take advantage of the community assets. The Northwest Corridor, in my vision, and the university's vision, will be one of those high points in the experience of Charlotte. And there'll be a time when you just can't come to Charlotte if you haven't been in the Northwest Corridor.
Correct. And you can see it coming too. You can see the growth of Johnson C. Smith.
Well, thank you.
Even as today.
Thank you.
Sir, yeah. And I applaud you and your staff for all that you're doing, not only for Johnson C. Smith and the students, but the whole community of Charlotte.
Well, thank you. It's just been a great experience, and we look forward to continuing to grow with our neighbors.
You're a father.
Yes.
And you're a foster parent.
Mm-hmm.
What does that say to a parent who trusts in you and Johnson C. Smith University to send their child to your institution for that education? Because, you know, that's our pride and joy, our child.
Well, what it says that we at Johnson C. Smith University, we understand what it means to care. We embrace what it means to care, and we are what it means to care.
It's like you have that father for those students, for each one of those students.
Yeah.
They're like a
yeah, tough love.
correct. And that's what it takes, especially in these days and age, because when they leave home, they need to have that individual, you know, to let them know that this isn't easy. This is not a joke right here. This is a real serious path to take.
Well, you know, we hear it takes a village to raise a child. Well, we don't give lip service to it. We do it.
Correct. Thank you, Dr. Carter, for coming on the show.
Thank
Anytime
you,
you want
Paul.
to come back, you're more than welcome to come back.
Well, I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching the show. Dr. Ron Carter, 13th President, Johnson C. Smith University. You be encouraged. Thank you.